Welcome back. It is just past 8 in the a.m., 10 after 8 to be exact, and it's time for our final discussion of the day. Before we continue, though, I'd like to ask my colleague, Carol.
Yes.
What do you know about your inner child? Do you have one, and what do you know about inner child trauma?
I do have an inner child, of course, in our inner child trauma. I do have the good and the bad. I think I still remember those. Even though I was still young, I can remember very clearly what happened, how I felt. Okay. But I just wish that I could know more about inner child before I have kids. Right. And to kind of treat it before I have children. Okay. Because I don't want my children to have a negative inner child moments and whatnot. But nothing is too late, I think.
Yeah, different from myself. I know everyone has an inner child, but I'm not familiar with mine. I don't know what mine is like, and I don't know if I do have any inner child trauma, because I'm sure I do, but I don't recognize it. Yeah. And some of you as well may not realize that inner child trauma could affect you or others for a very long time. Now, if it goes unaddressed, and how does one cope with inner child trauma? Perhaps reading books like Nggak apa-apa kalau sedih, Nangis aja could be of some help. Now, today we have the author of this book, a psychologist, Anastasia Satriyo, to join us to talk more about this. Good morning, Banas. First of all, thank you for dropping by. Congratulations on the book. Let's talk a little bit about this. Nggak apa-apa kalau sedih, nangis aja, which roughly translates to, it's okay if you're sad, just cry. Tell us about it.
Yes, this book's coming from my own experience also, processing my inner child. So people sometimes think that if you're a psychologist, you don't have any issue.
Yeah, right. You're not human.
Yeah. In fact, we still have an experience from our pregnancy experience in the womb, in our mom's womb, from 0 to 18 years old. It's how we develop our brain, our personality, and our emotion. And at that time, we absorb a lot of emotion, and I also work on myself. I'm going to psychologist too to work on my inner child trauma. And after that, because I'm a child psychologist, when I'm adult, I'm going to adult clinical psychologist. So I have the perspective as an observer and also as the one who experiencing it. And I believe that, like you said before, I believe a lot of people in Indonesia also having difficult emotion during their childhood, but they don't know what is it and what it's about. Sometimes we don't have any remembrance of it.
Because it's been a long time.
Yes, but it's impacting our ability to relate to other people, how we do the relationship, especially the romantic and intimate relationship in adulthood, and when we become parents. A lot of my clients or the people that I know said that, oh, I'm a different person before I have a child. But why? When I have a child, there's a lot of anger, there is a lot of intense emotion. Sometimes we recognize it, oh, maybe we are too tired becoming a parent, becoming a mom and dad. But when we go dig deeper, I think the inner child issue is triggering and make an intense emotion. So when we know about it better, maybe we can be a better person, a better partner, and better parents.
You mean like we can relate with our kids more because we know what they're going through?
Right, and then trying not to do what our parents do, because I was growing up, I know, it's like, I am not going to be like my mom and dad.
But then
definitely.
And
then I kind of reflect myself, why is this? Is it because of my inner child, something that I felt at that time? And then I was growing up with, parents that's baby boomers, where I can't really share how I felt. Not like parents nowadays would like sit me down, like, how do you feel today? Are you okay and whatnot? That time, whatever you're feeling, like, I'm the dominant right here in the house, you just suck it up and whatnot.
I'm the rat wine, you have to obey me.
Exactly. Now, that is now become, but it's not only a trend. I think it's good that right now people are getting to know more about inner child. But what should we know about it other than this trending, what happened to us in the past and whatnot? People just want to know, to be involved in it. But what's really the issue?
Yes. So from my own perspective point of view as a child psychologist that learning neuropsychology, basically everything that happened to us during our childhood, especially how our parents respond to us, the emotion that we experience and how they respond for it, it's becoming a memory embedded in our brain. So when we don't have the programming to know, for me that I have a high anxiety, and I think until 18 or 20 years old, even until now, I don't know how to regulate this high anxiety. And only people just said, don't be too much worried, don't stress. But it's already embedded in my brain. So I want to encourage people, if you feel that the emotion is too intense, whether it's about anger, about anxiety, about worriness, it means that during our first 5 years or 7 years in our life, there is no adult understand how to navigate our emotion, because the brain of a child is like the electrical apa tuh screen gitu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the circuits.
Circuits
Yes.
that when they go down or they go up, they need someone to make it
To help it flip
up
it back
again.
up.
Yeah,
Flip
flip
the
it back
switch,
again.
right?
Yes. That's how the brain functions.
I'm guilty. Sorry.
Right?
I'm like, oh.
Is that
no.
something's hitting home
But,
here?
Yeah.
but we have to know the knowledge, right? If we don't have the
Yeah.
information, we think, and we maybe I have the experience like you just have to make yourself better. Just go to the corner and think about everything that you've experienced.
Yes,
Flex.
time out.
Just calm yourself. In
Right.
fact, the child cannot do the calm yourself by themselves. The brain not really
not
mature
wired.
enough. Yeah. Yes.
So, you spoke to us before we came on air, and you connected with your inner child through a psychologist, even
Yeah.
though you're one yourself.
Yes.
Let's get back to your book a little bit here. What are you conveying in this book in order for us readers to
Yes.
be able to perhaps have this either as a way for us to be able to connect to our
Yes.
inner child, or perhaps as a segue for us to start to connect and then perhaps take the next step to perhaps see a psychologist
Yes.
if we need to?
Yes.
What are you conveying in this book? Because it's a lovely book, by the way. I've been only sifting through it. We got our own copies. Thank you
Yes.
for that. And there's lovely illustrations as well. It makes it really easy to digest.
Yes.
But tell us more.
Yes, I believe that there's no one teach us how to be a human. Especially, there's no one teach us how to know our emotion and how to process emotion. And because there is a say that tak kenal maka tak sayang gitu ya.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
don't know yourself, you cannot love yourself.
Correct.
And nowadays, we are in a society that is hard to love ourselves. A lot of mental health issue, even the young people going to suicide. It's
Yes.
because they don't love themselves, but how to love ourselves? It's by knowing our emotion. And through knowing our emotion, and especially when we now becoming an adult and a parents, if we know the knowledge and processing ourselves, how to process our own emotion, I believe we have the ability to sit with the emotion of our child and to help them since the very young age to know, even, for example, me, if I have a child, I know now how to taking care of the child if they feel the anxiety, if they feel the sadness and the anger, not just suck it up, don't be angry, don't be sad. We don't processing our emotion with that kind of words, but just sit together, breathing, and then validate the emotion. Oh, I know you are sad, but it's very hard for us an adult to do it if we don't have the experience yet. So I encourage and I'm inviting all the adults and all the soon-to-be parents, all the parents, there is we can learn to processing our emotion first, be familiar with our emotion, and then it will come naturally to process our child's emotion.
And I would like to add what you mentioned as well off air, where as a new parent, especially with my first child, I'm guilty of doing this, is that when my child went through a certain emotion, the first instinct was to get upset or angry.
Yeah.
And that was because we are not connected with our inner child, correct?
We don't know yet how to tackle it.
Right.
And it's trigger our inner child emotion about feeling hopeless, like don't know what to do. This is very overwhelming.
Yes.
Like you can give me a lot of job, but don't make me deal with the emotion like that. Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And it seems that with this inner child, with your book, Nggak Apa-apa Kalau Sedih Nangis Aja, it becomes a guidance. It's a tool. So, I
Yes.
mean, especially if you're going to be a newly parents, this is something that you can read, or whoever. I think it's really good for you. This is like an open guidance for you to kind of trigger how you feel and like your soul. But
Yes.
then after you read this book, you definitely need to go to a professional because you need a deeper sessions for
Yeah.
inner child, correct?
If you need to, because we have 270,000
Yes.
millions people in Indonesia.
Everyone's
and,
different.
Yeah, and everyone wants to know themselves in different level.
Yes.
But this book can be a guided tools.
Yes.
And sure, if you want to go deeper, you can meet a psychologist one-on-one. Nowadays, we are more available in Indonesia, online or offline.
There
you
you
can seek the one that is suitable for you. And that's very important. But by doing the self-care for yourself every day, like doing the breathing exercise or mindfulness, or just giving accomplishment to yourself, a nice word, just thank you, Anas, for today. That's not
Yeah.
the things that our parents did to us, right?
Right.
So by giving affirmation to us, say thank you for ourselves is also part of the healing the inner child.
Oh, there you go. It's not easy to heal the inner child. I know firsthand. I'm going to meet with you personally too, Dr. Anas. But you also write a book. This is not your first book. You have several books before. You have two other books.
Yes.
So the second one is about parenting.
Yes.
You said.
There is no school about becoming parents. Tak ada sekolah buat jadi orang tua.
There you go.
Very true.
Yeah.
A lot of your topics hit close to home.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what other topics you perhaps want to explore in any future books that you're going to write?
I already have the idea.
Really?
It's
Okay.
about a good girl syndrome.
What's that?
Because in Indonesia, a lot of women, since a very young age, becoming a girl, is very being pressured to become a good girl, not giving a say, becoming a nice girl, and they all repress.
Being submissive.
Yes, submissive, and they all repress the anger. The anger becoming anxiety. A lot of women experiencing the gastritis issues and the hormonal imbalance,
Really?
the menstruation issue. It's coming from the repressed emotions. And as well, it's also affecting how we pursue relationship in the adult way.
Yes.
When I meet my clients in a young adult, like 20 years old or 19 years old, when I said, you know what? In fact, when they feel a lot of insecurity, right, about life, and I said to them, how about if you just try to make a list about the quality of a partner that you want to have in your life.
Right.
It's the session in 2023. And then what the girl said, is it asking too much to the society? If I have a lot of demand to the man, will I have a partner? You know what?
Will I be able to find
Yes,
Really?
that is crazy, right?
And we have girls, by the
Yes.
way.
Yeah. No, that's not how I'm going to raise my girls.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So
They have to know their worthiness as a woman.
course.
Yes.
very important topic that I
Yes.
never knew was even an issue
Yeah.
until you brought it up.
Yes.
So again, congratulations. We're going to
Yes.
enjoy this one. And
Thank you so
we
much.
cannot
Just
wait
give me
for
the
your-
feedback.
Of course.
Yes,
Doctor.
absolutely. And we cannot wait for your next one. But in the meantime, make sure that if you are interested in finding out more about your inner child, then pick up Nggak Apa-Apa Kalau Sedih, Menangis Saja.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Anastasia, for your time, for your book, and
thank
for your
you.
passion for helping us all.
Yes.
And right now, we're going to take a short break, but in the meantime, don't forget to follow our social media platforms for the updates. But next up, we have another story and a special one. Salam Ramadan, don't miss out.
Thank you.
Thank you.